Welcome to Career Uprising. I'm your host, Lorraine Rise, a career and executive coach dedicated to helping clients who are 40 plus to break free from feeling stuck and transform into the unstoppable force you're destined to become. Let's start the uprising. Welcome to Career Uprising. This is episode 173, Leveraging Thought Leadership to Get Hired. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Lorraine Rise. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Please take a moment to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Just hit that follow button on Apple Podcasts or however you like to listen. I cannot believe we are up to 173 episodes already. I have been doing this show for 7 years. I can't even believe it as I say that out loud. So thank you so much for either being a loyal listener or a new listener, if you are just joining us. So as you all may know, the mission that I have at Career Uprising is I support mid and late career professionals with getting hired, getting unstuck in their careers, advancing, finding work that they love, and basically getting out of job search hell and back into a job and working again as they want to be. So there's one angle of how to do that I've never really addressed. And this is something that I have been focusing on a lot more over the last year, especially true for working with, senior leaders, executives, I would say those who are director level and above. But I want you to know today's message is not just for those people. It is most relevant and most critical for those who are more senior in their careers, but it is absolutely applicable and can be advantageous for nearly anybody in their career. And what I'm talking about is this buzzword that we hear a lot lately of thought leadership, right? What is thought leadership? It's a little bit of a cliche, I guess, these days. You hear the word thrown around a lot, and it almost, to be honest, even sounds a little pretentious to me. But I will say the idea has legs. It does. It absolutely does. And you see thought leadership all the time, because we also have this phrase of influencers, right? And I want to make a really important distinction. When I say thought leadership, I am not talking about influencing and that type of thing in a superficial social media kind of way. That is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is putting out thoughtful, intentional, and valuable content on multiple platforms, and social media is only one, for the sake of establishing credibility, visibility, and attracting opportunities to yourself. So thought leadership can absolutely be used to get hired, and it's an overlooked tool or strategy. So I want to dive into this today. I'm really passionate about this, and I want you to keep an open mind about how you can establish yourself in very simple, easy ways as a thought leader, and how it will benefit your job search in the short term and your career in the long run. All right. So let's dive in. All right. So first, we've kind of defined thought leadership, what it is and what it isn't. It's not superficial. It's not just posting on social media. It's so much more. It's more than that. And it's not about like touting your favorite brand and lifestyle kind of stuff. This is about having a point of view, having an angle, right? Talking about relevant insights, trends, lessons learned, things that are happening out there. So I demonstrate thought leadership through the show, through my LinkedIn newsletter, through the posts that I put, right? So I have my topic that I like to talk about, which is careers and job searching and resumes and basically all things career management and transition. So I've picked my topic I know my audience and I speak to them on multiple platforms. And then you could make the argument that it gets me a job, right? Because it gets me clients, right? Clients like what I have to say. They resonate with it. They come into my community and they sign up, right? But that process is still applicable to you in a job search. I think we oftentimes think about thought leadership as somebody who has a business like myself, is in sales, is quote, promoting something. But I really want you to expand your definition of that quite a bit, okay? Thought leadership is simply having a topic or a few related topics that you know well. This is where your insights and your expertise come in. And you share, you start conversations, you join in on conversations, you make original posts, you make comments. There's lots of ways you can do it, but you are joining in, actively participating in the conversation on the issues that matter most to you, and you have a point of view. And you're putting it out there. And this can do wonders for a job search. Okay, so let's kind of break down the ways that we can do this. And I like to start with LinkedIn. It's the most obvious, it's the low-hanging fruit, right? One of the easiest ways to get started with this, especially when it's from a career standpoint, is starting to post on LinkedIn. Regular posting, even just once a week, that's all I'm asking, not even daily, builds authority. It helps build an audience and it builds credibility and it gives you an incredible amount of visibility because you would be shocked what percentage of users who have profiles on LinkedIn actually post. I don't remember the exact number. It's something like 5%. I know it's less than 10. That's the percentage of people who actually put content out rather than just consuming on the platform. Wow. So if you just start posting once a week on LinkedIn, you're in like the top 5%. Okay. Of course you're going to stand out. It seems like a really crowded space. It is not as crowded as you think it is. It is not. Okay. So get out there. What can you post? Post about what's happening in your industry. How is AI shaping it? What are the trends happening? Are there layoffs? Are they hiring? Are there new products and services? Who are the movers and shakers that are doing cool things in your industry? Start jumping in and maybe sharing news headlines that are relevant to your line of work and putting your thoughts in there. You can share some personal stories from your career, lessons learned, failures that you learned from, great successes that you've had, challenges that you've solved. All right. This is not difficult. And you don't have to get super fancy. You don't even need to use hashtags. Hashtags are not really actually a thing on LinkedIn anymore. I would recommend not using them. You're going to look outdated. You can use emojis and make it look, a little bit of that if you want to format it, but I wouldn't go crazy. I would actually keep it kind of simple. Try to include links to articles when you can, photos for sure. If you want to get really brave, video would be amazing. But if you are not ready for that, just start with text at least, right? Or put out a poll, something. Every time you post, you are drawing attention to yourself and your profile. And when you are in a job search, that is exactly what you want. That is literally the point, is that you want visibility. You want traffic and eyes on your profile, because the assumption is that you have a great profile. You worked on it, right? Maybe you got some help with it. Assuming you have a solid profile, you want to now start taking it to the next step and putting content out there. Be a creator, not just a consumer. Be a creator, not just a consumer. All right. So I will take a step back too and say, if the idea of posting on LinkedIn scares the crap out of you right now and you're like, Lorraine, hell no way. I'm too scared to do that. Let me first tell you, you are in phenomenal company. A lot of people that I work with are very afraid, and I get it. It's okay. Here's what you can do if you want to take baby steps. Start by commenting on other people's posts. All right. Make a commitment to comment at least 5 times a week in a high value, thoughtful way, all right, on somebody else's posts. Meaning, it is not enough to just say, oh, I agree. Great post. Thanks for sharing. And boring. Anyone can do that. That is not going to establish you as a thought leader. Put some thoughtful takeaways, insights, ask a follow-up question, something like that. The more you do this, the more people will view your profile. You'll simply get more traction. You'll also have great conversations. You will make friends and increase your connections. Absolutely. In the comments is where friends are made. I think we've all probably seen posts where the comments just go wild for some reason. And like there's all these other conversations that are just spinning off. That can be really, really fun sometimes to participate, and you will make more connections. So be strategic about this too. Comment on posts from people who work at companies that you want to work at. Comment on top companies or contacts within your industry. Comment on posts that recruiters make, your peers, some of the best people in your network. Be thoughtful. It's not just about like a spray and pray kind of just pick a random old post, right? Put a little bit of intention into this and make sure that who you are engaging with aligns with the job that you want. And then do this consistently, and it is a compounding effect. All right. So right off the bat, you have 2 easy things, or simple. I won't say they're always easy, but I will say they're simple. Things that you can get started with. Commenting on other people's posts, and then when you're ready, graduating to posting once a week yourself. All right? And you absolutely will get traction with this. And I have seen clients actually land jobs from this. But remember, we have to be really good about what we're putting out. We're not putting out my job search sucks and I hate recruiters and all that garbage, or anything that isn't professional or putting you in a good light, to be honest. And I don't mean you have to be perfect. When I say putting you in a good light, I just means it needs to reflect well on you and be emotionally intelligent and professional. Doesn't mean that we don't ever share stories of lessons learned, things that went wrong. Absolutely. In fact, I think that people like that vulnerability. So I think a little bit of that is a good thing. We don't need to put this facade out there. But we are going to be professional and thoughtful, and I would highly recommend staying away from really like polarizing political topics. That's just my preference. But when you're in a job search, you do have to be mindful of that. Let's not act like we don't. We do. Okay. So be thoughtful and intentional. Really quick, one other thing that you probably never thought of that you can absolutely do on LinkedIn. This is now used to be available only to creators. It's now available to everybody. And you might not see the connection between this and your job search, but I want you to expand your mind. You can start a LinkedIn newsletter, even just once a month, putting out an original long form article about a topic in your industry. You will get followers very quickly. LinkedIn does a pretty good job of pushing that out to people in your network and helping you get people to subscribe to it. It notifies your network. They get an email that you put in something, out, a new edition of your newsletter. This is a phenomenal free tool to help establish you as a thought leader and get traction and credibility. And it could even lead to other things, maybe a guest blog on a website or a podcast interview. We're going to talk about those things as well. Okay. But I love my LinkedIn newsletter. It grew very, very quickly. I think I had I think I have over 2,000 people and I got like the first 1,000 subscribers within like the first month or two. I mean, it happened really, really fast. So this is an absolute phenomenal tool. And you have to know, if you are a senior leader, especially in your field, so like director level or above, you are expected to have a point of view. It's expected. That's why they call you a leader. Don't just fall into the crowd. Don't just have a LinkedIn profile and then do nothing else with it. That's not going to cut it. Okay. More is expected of you in your position. So it is absolutely relevant for a director, a VP, your C-suite person to have a newsletter where they are talking about hot topics in the industry. Okay. All right. I threw a lot at you guys. Let's take a quick commercial break here. You're going to hear a little bit about my programs and Career Uprising, which brings you this show. So let's take a quick 2-minute break. And then I have a lot more when we get back. We're going to get into some of the other methods outside of LinkedIn that are available to you to establish you as a thought leader. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, it's Lorraine again. While the show takes a quick break, I want to tell you a little bit more about what we do at Career Uprising. We've been in business for 10 years now, helping clients who are either executives or in the late career phase. We work with clients in all different industries, from tech to healthcare to education. Are you worried about ageism in your job search? Or maybe you haven't looked for a job in years and you feel outdated and overwhelmed. Or maybe you feel stuck and want to figure out what's next for you in your career. If any of these sound like you, we might be a good fit. My team and I have helped over 500 clients over the last decade to land new jobs faster than they could on their own. We offer world-class coaching, resume writing, and salary negotiation support. First, you can sign up for my mailing list and be a part of my growing community. Head over to careeruprising.com today and learn more and book a call with me. That's careeruprising.com. I can't wait to connect with you. Let's get back to the show. All right, so I want to dive in now to some other ways that you can establish yourself as a thought leader beyond LinkedIn, because that is just the beginning. My personal body of work and my thought leadership expands a lot of different mediums. Of course, LinkedIn is where I have the biggest following as far as social media. But I also, of course, have this podcast, as you know. I have an email newsletter, and then I have the LinkedIn newsletter. I have also done in-person speaking engagements. I have been a guest on other podcasts as well. And believe it or not, like I said at the beginning, all of these things that I do as a business owner are still relevant for you. You can do them. You don't need to own a business. Not everyone who is a guest on a podcast is a business owner. A lot of them have day jobs, you guys. Not everybody who's a business is in a keynote speaker or on a panel is a business owner. So let's definitely expand that, right? So thinking about being a guest on podcasts, maybe writing isn't your thing. Maybe you're a speaker. So think about what mediums and what platforms are appealing to you and play to your skill set. Some people are better verbally. Some are better written. Some like video. Some do not. Find what works for you. But beyond LinkedIn, you can absolutely become a guest on other shows simply by pitching yourself. And if you don't have the time, you can absolutely hire a virtual assistant or somebody very part-time. You can probably go to Upwork or Fiverr or something like that and find a low-cost personal assistant or somebody even just for this purpose to research shows that resonate with you and the message that you have and align with the industry you're in, the type of position you might want to have. They can help you research and find shows that are relevant and then do the outreach to pitch you as a guest. So this does not have to be time consuming. You don't have to be involved fully in that process. I actually have a client that I coached and worked with last fall. I saw on LinkedIn just recently, she was a guest on a podcast. That was a really cool moment. So this is a real thing that you can do. And it is a huge, huge credibility factor. It's a great talking point in interviews as well. If you are interviewing with a company, then you can share a link to your podcast interviews or articles that you have written and, maybe guest blogs that you've done. It's all part of your body of work, and it's all things that you can present to build value in your skills and what you have to offer. And it will all help you to get hired. Okay. So think about being a guest on podcasts. Think about speaking engagements at conferences, on webinars. It could be virtual or in person, whatever whatever works for you. I think in person isn't really, really powerful, but you can at least start with virtual. That's good too. But speaking is very, very powerful for building your network, making connections, and establishing your authority. Think also about mastermind groups and executive roundtables. There's all kinds of events out there and groups that you can join where you can build your network and showcase your ideas and your thought leadership. I think peer-led discussions with executive roundtables are really, really great. Think about joining groups like Chief for executive women and Athena Alliance. There's a lot of other ones out there. You can join professional associations within your industry and your line of work. They often will have webinars you can join, roundtables that you can participate in, be on a panel discussion of some kind. You can even go to LinkedIn events and search maybe executive roundtable or executive masterminds under the LinkedIn event section. That is something you can do as well. And then start with some online events that you want to attend and then maybe even participate in more actively, right? So there's you don't have to do all of these things too. That's really important to note. You don't have to do all of these things. Pick a few or even start with one if you're not doing anything on this list, and pick the one that most aligns with your skill and your comfort level at this moment and do it well and do it consistently. And then maybe you can add in a second strategy. But you can also think about writing articles for industry blogs and publications. I've done that where I've had agreements where I write articles for different websites. You can do that as well. And then you can oftentimes repurpose that content as well and make a shorter posts on LinkedIn and such. Okay. There are so many avenues available to you, and all of this will absolutely aid in your job search because you need to get out there. You need to be seen. You need to be visible. If that is scary, that is okay. A lot of people struggle with that. And that's something that I coach clients on. My team and I can help you with that. We can help coach you on your thought leadership, on your messaging, what platforms are best for you. What are you going to say? Who are you speaking to? All of those things. And how can that be of service to you in landing a new position as well? Okay. So just to recap, a couple of bite-sized actionable strategies to leave you with so that you can get started with this. All right. First, the lowest hanging fruit, I think, is commenting on other people's posts. If you are not doing that thoughtfully and consistently every week, start. That's where you start. Then I want you to graduate to posting on LinkedIn once a week. Maybe more if you want, but at least start with once a week. Be thoughtful about what you post. Make sure try to include photos when you can. You can include links to other articles. You can even just use the LinkedIn newsfeed right there. And that's on the right side when you log into LinkedIn. Use that as a starting point and comment on some of those things. All right. Then think about how you can take it a step further. Do you want to be on podcasts? Do you want to do maybe some Forbes articles or some other website, right? Or do you want to join a mastermind group and do some virtual spotlight speaking gigs? Whatever it looks like to you, ramp it up into high gear. Whether you're happy in your job or in a job search, there are short and long-term benefits for this. It's about overall career management. And I want to say one last thing too. Thought leadership is not about who's the loudest, all right? It's not about that. You can be an introvert. You can do it in your own way. That's why I give you options for different platforms and different mediums. Is it more video? Is it more text, right? Is it speaking and audio events? You can pick what works better for you, and you do not have to be an extrovert. This is for everyone. It looks different for different people, but just start small and be consistent and show up, and opportunities will come to you. All right. Pick one strategy, I dare you, and commit to it this week. I believe in this so much. All right. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe to the show, connect with me on LinkedIn. And of course, you can learn more about what we do to help career advancement for mid, late career professionals, executives, anybody in that stage. All right, go to careeruprising.com and I will be back with another show. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the month of April. Hey, it's Lorraine, and I want to say thanks for listening. If you found value in today's show, I would be honored to have your review on Apple Podcasts. It's the single best way to help this show be found by other listeners, and you'll earn some good karma. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you next time on Career Uprising.